coached or been in a dome that's a little bit smaller dome like this one and seen what it's like?
I'm just thinking out loud. The Alamo Dome in San Antonio is a smaller dome. You used to play basketball in that one. The fans are right on top of you there. So I guess that would probably be about as close as the one. I've never been up there, so I don't know what to compare it to. But we have coached in several domes. But yeah.
Is there any advice you can give receivers about when you're looking up at film?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like playing in the in the Georgia Dome last year. A couple times we played. I mean, you just got to get your depth perception of things, but I think it's only an issue if you make it an issue. I mean, it's still pitching and catching and throwing. I mean, we're not gonna make any excuses. They could go out and go play. It doesn't matter where we play. We can play in the parking lot. I don't care. And play on gravel, rocks. It doesn't matter. That should not be an excuse. Go out and perform, and that's our biggest, message to our guys. So, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so tell us, after looking at the film, what went wrong? Because Mondays are usually about getting these guys back together.
Yeah.
What went wrong Sunday? What can you guys and improve on?
Well, I mean, we were far from perfect. I can promise you that. I mean, we made some good plays. We got on track, got in the rhythm early. There were a lot of good things. It was good to see that and to see some positives out of that. We still continue to make a few simple mistakes that we've got to get cleared up in our run game. We had some snap issues. We gave up 2 sacks just by being soft, entirely too soft, and not playing with technique. Our technique has got to get better. It got to get better in the offensive line, and it's going to be a challenge to our guys this week, and really keep pressing those guys. We did get better. We have played better. Kaylon Davis is playing much better. Very proud of Kaylon. Brandon Thomas is playing well. Tyler Shatley, we know what we're getting with Tyler. Tyler's playing extremely well right now. Ryan Norton had a 102-degree fever, had to come in, get 2 bags of IV after the first quarter. Came out for 3 series, and we got him back in there, and then we picked up where we left off. Jay Guillermo kind of came in, and Jay had been struggling with being sick as well, and he didn't perform to his capability, but we give some guys some opportunities to play. So, there's plenty of stuff to get better. We had 3 drops. So when you look at it, Taj should have been 20 of 24. So, no, there's plenty. We did some good things, and we've pinpointed those, but we're not going to spend the day patting them on the back.
Do you expect to see some competition this week at left guard and right tackle?
Yeah, I do. I think there's a lot of competition going on right now, and that's really good to see. And so we're just, I wish I could tell you, maybe somebody will want to take the job and run with it. I don't know. We think we got an idea. We think we got a pinpoint on it, but when we get David Beasley back and get him healthy, but I'm going to say it again, Kaylon Davis is playing really well.
Whitlock, number 50, had wreaked a lot of havoc before. Were you pretty pleased with how you guys?
I was. He made a couple plays. He made a few plays on us. He got a sack on one when just his experience took over on Jay. You could definitely tell that he was a veteran and Jay wasn't, and in the way he approached him early on. But Jay picked back up and got better. But our game, our plan coming in was to try to put 2 bodies on him as much as possible, and we were able to do that and to slow him down and play fast. Couple that with playing fast, I think that really helped us out.
For those of us who don't know a whole lot about Syracuse, what do you think?
Yeah, play extremely hard. This team loves to pressure. They love to bring one more than you got. If they could blitz 12, they'd blitz 12. They're very confident in their system. They're their main objective is to try to disrupt the quarterback by bringing pressure from every angle possible. This is the probably the biggest pressure team that we faced maybe since I've been here, and so we've got to have a great plan for that. So it's showing up, in every one of their games, and even into last year. They were a little bit more odd last year than they are this year, but they still like to move guys around and bring a lot of pressure. Very, very well coached. We're going to get their absolute best, I can tell you that. We're going to get everything they got.
Is that obviously going to put the onus on pass protection, not just from your offensive line, but from tight ends?
Yeah, well, that's every week. That's every week, and this is just, this is just more of an opportunity for us to get better in that area. I love the challenge. I think it's a great challenge for our guys, this is something that they're going to have to be on point, without a doubt.
Chad Dabo said yesterday Rod's ankle was a little sore than maybe he had thought. Do you feel like you're going to keep him keep him limited in practice for a couple of days as he recovers, or how do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to see right now. I mean, I did see him this morning, talked to him this morning. He was walking around, and so we'll see. It's kind of a wait and see process. We're very pleased with where Zach Brooks is, and obviously DJ had his best game in well over 2 years, and we just can't wait till 2 more years to have another game like that. So he needs to put some consistency together, and that's our challenge to him. Very proud of him and his effort. Zach Brooks is another one, and C.J. Davidson was a guy.
What do you think? Why do you think DJ had that kind of performance? Did you see it coming in practice?
Well, no, not really. I mean, he's just kind of been that guy that's been kind of steady. I think he had some he had some success early, and that just kind of boosted his confidence. And it was good to see. I mean, because it really wasn't a very good throw. Taj put it on his back hip, and he had to actually spin around. And we had 2 really good blocks out on the edge. Sammy Watkins and Adam Humphries did really well out there on the edge blocking on that play, and allowed DJ an opportunity to cut back. But, I've been pretty critical on our wide receivers. I think I've got to compliment those guys because we played as physical of a game at our wide receiver position as we've played this year. And again, it can't be a one-hit wonder. We got to put a string of games together that these guys are going to continue to get better in blocking out on the edge. And that was our challenge to them this past week, and they definitely met that challenge.
Mike Williams looks the part. Seems like he's getting better, but what does he have to do to continue to earn?
Well, I think just confidence. I mean, he's playing with some great confidence right now, and he's playing fast. And I think he's a guy that's going to be a really good player for us in due time. With playing a freshman like him, you make some mistakes, but I think he's got to continue to push. And he and Martavis, that's a great battle right there at that position going right now, and that's good to see, because that position needs that position for us really needs to come on, really needs to earn the trust of our quarterback, and I don't think our quarterback has had the trust in that position the first couple weeks.
How come?
Well, just inconsistent play, just being inconsistent blocking, inconsistent route running. That's a position you have to be consistent. You have to have the confidence of your quarterback, and I think we took a big step in that direction this past week. And I think you saw that with Cole Stout, and you saw it with Taj on a couple occasions. And so it's good, and it's good to see. When anytime you replace a first-round draft choice, you're going to have some inconsistencies early on, and with us continuing to play is really going to help. So.
How much is he pushing Martavis?
Well, I think they're battling right now. I think they got a good competition going right now, and I think that's what we need. I think Martavis needs it. I think Mike needs it. So yeah, they're pushing each other pretty hard.
Chad, how do you think the tight end position has come around? Obviously, heading into the spring game, you thought it was going to be one way, and then Sam's injury kind of threw it up in the air.
Yeah, Sam's injury kind of put a kind of a kink in things. Forced us to bring Stanton on a little faster. Stanton has been a guy that's been consistent. Got his weight up, 235, looks good, runs well. Physical. To be honest with you, we kind of expected a little bit more out of Jordan Leggett. especially coming out of spring. He got injured in fall camp, and that set him back from a mental standpoint as much as it did physically. Young kids like that, when they get a little bunged up or injured, they want to be nurtured, and oh, poor me, instead of, hey, look, now's the time you got to really engage mentally in your meetings and everything to not get behind. And as much as you tell a young kid like that, it just, it's hard for them because they've always been used to being in high school, and this is the way it's always been. And so I think you're starting to see Jordan come on. He had some success last week. We've been coaching him extremely hard. Coach Pierman and I have been on him religiously about just the technique and just his mindset, and I think the success that he had will only help him. He's a guy that's got phenomenal talent, but he's just got to continue to keep coming on. So Sam is getting faster every week, and we had a couple of drops Saturday. I know he was disappointed in that, but you can see his speed starting to come back a little bit. It's going to take a little bit more, but I've been pleased with the position. It hasn't been it hadn't been the highlight like we wanted it to be, but it hasn't been, but that's okay, and it's going to slowly come on, and there's other guys picking up right now until that position really comes into its fold.
Did you think it was going to have to be kind of a by committee?
I did. Yeah, I did. After Sam got hurt, I did. I thought it was going to be you're going to play. You're going to have to wind up playing 2, 3, 4 guys, and it'd be by committee.
You really feel like Taj looked like Taj 2012 on Saturday more than he had?
I think everybody saw that. I think when he even hit the first pass, I mean, that was the right read. We had been talking about it all week long. This is what could happen, man. You got to hit this, but when he hit that third play, and all he needed was a spark. That's it. He needed to play, and he needed to play with some confidence, and to have somebody make a play that kind of sparked us. And once he hit the third play, I mean, you knew it. You knew he was in it, and he was going to have a great day. He ran the ball well. While we didn't call 17 quarterback runs, only called about 4 or 5 of them, he pulled the ball down when something wasn't there, and that's what you're supposed to do as a quarterback: move the chains, and he did that. So I did. I saw him. He obviously played his best game since the Georgia game. There's no doubt.
When you guys are up 4 touchdowns going into the second half, why keep him out there? Just so you don't fall into that? Yeah,
I mean, you were here last week at the press conference when I was complaining about the lack of play with all those guys. They had to stay together, and I was trying my best to get him through all the way up to the start of the fourth quarter. But when we went up, and he went up, and that last touchdown, Coach Sweeney and I were over there talking. He was playing good. He had just finished off a strong drive. Let's pull Taj. Let's let Cole get the reps, but let's leave our starting offensive line in because they needed to play through the third quarter. So that was kind of the mindset of it. I'm completely good with that, especially the way Taj was playing. Now, had Taj been struggling, I think you would have seen him continue to stay in there to try to get some rhythm going, but there was no need in it. And to have Cole Stout come in and again, Cole was just smooth. He was complete, and he just operated with that first offensive line, which was good to see. So yeah.
Chad, Taj's short yardage runs, are they as reliable a play as you guys have right now? And it must be amazing to think from a couple of years ago when you were first working at him, the reluctance he had at trying to pull down and make those plays, and now,
right.
You call him and it seems like.
Well, the great thing about Taj wants the ball in his hands all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what you like in your quarterback. And whether it's short yardage, long yardage, whatever it may be, he wants the ball in his hands. And I think we've been one of the best teams in the country in short yardage. And obviously that transitions into red zone offense. And for what he's done in the red zone over the last 2 years and getting us in the end zone and getting away with points. So yeah, I mean, he's extremely confident in what we're calling and what we're doing, and he's kind of got a knack for it. He knows how to set his blocking up and to fall forward for 2 and 3 yards. He's 220 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't know if we put 2 running backs together, could we get 220 pounds out of those guys back there, you know? So, you know, he's the guy that's going to provide that big punch, and that's what he is. That's his mindset. He's a tough kid, and that's what he wants. And it's been working for him.
Chad, how much pride do you guys? I mean, obviously coming into the season, there was one perception about the ACC, that it was going to be you and Florida State, and that's it. There are a couple of now ranked teams in Maryland, Miami. How much pride do you guys take when other teams in the league, or when the league is doing better than maybe people had anticipated a month ago?
Well, I think it says a lot for our league. It's not something that we sit and sit around and talk about. You know, but it is. It's good for our league. It's but in the end, I could really care less about everybody else and more about us. And I'm glad they're having some success. And you know, but we're going to focus on Clemson. So yeah, it's good.
It was kind of one extreme to the other with Taj. After the NC State game, people were like, "Oh, what's wrong?" You know, it's like, "Oh, he's back. Everything's back now." How do you kind of guard against people, your guys, from getting too caught up in those extremes?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is you know, you start with the inside and you work out. I mean, that's the biggest thing. You know, outside influence has no bearing on Taj's play. He starts on the inside, and you know, he's got to just make sure that he's not trying too hard. He's not pushing, and I think that's what he was doing. I think he was pressing to the point he wasn't having a whole lot of fun. He just felt like he had to be perfect, and you know, I've shared that, and you know, my biggest thing to him this past week was just relax and have fun. And you know, even early in the last week in practice, he missed a couple of throws, and you saw it in his body language. And it you know, that hasn't been him. It hasn't been him. And in the years I've been with him, that hasn't been him. And so our you know, we talked a lot about body language. Talked a lot about just go to the next play. Quit pressing. You know, it's all going to come into play. There's a reason why it's happening the way it is. A reason why our schedule's set up the way it is maybe it's because we don't want you playing your best ball right now. And slowly build this bunch up. And so, you know, and even from a play calling standpoint, I mean, it's not all on Taj. I mean, you know, you know, as a play caller, you try to call plays like you did last year or the year before. You try to game plan like you game plan last year or the year before that. And what you find is it's not the same team. Every year is going to be different. And next year's going to be, I'm going to sit right here next year and go, well, try to call plays like I did last year. Well, we got a different team. And it takes you a while as a coach to learn the personality of your team and learn what turns them on and clicks and right and wrongs and you know, what we might have been really good at last year, we may not be good at this year. What we were really bad at last year, we're really good at this year. And so all that kind of goes hand in hand, and that's why they call it a season. And that's why the more you play, the more you learn out more about yourself and about your group. And so and I think Taj was the same way. He was trying to play just like he did last year. Well, and he was relying on guys that maybe weren't here this year. And so he's just learning each other and the heat of battle. And but the biggest thing is don't press. Just relax and go play. And be Taj Boyd. We all know what Taj Boyd can do. He's one of the best in the country, if not the best. Just go play.
So, Chad, so you're not calling plays that you might have when Nuke was here or when Andre was here?
Well, no. I mean, we're calling the same play. You know, don't get me wrong, but it's the way you go about things and the way you approach things. You know, while on this certain situation you might have went with this call, where this year it may be, well, we may not be quite like we were last year. We're better in this regard, so let's put it in this guy's hands. So, you know, it's just. But every team's different. You learn, you know, what motivated a team last year may not motivate the team this year. Or our offense last year motivated them this year, or vice versa. So, but I've been coaching 20-something years, and I'm yet to have a same team or same offense that's identical. I mean, you know, different personalities. You know, some like me, some don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of the way it is. You know, type of deal.
So, I mean, do you have to sit there like in June or May or June and say, all right, well, in this sequence, I don't have this guy anymore. So we'll.
Nah, I think it all. No,
Yeah.
No, I don't think you look at it that way. And I think it all kind of takes shape through the course of the season.
Yeah, yeah.
And you just learn, you know, when you're in the heat of battle, you learn a lot about people.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what we're learning, and it's a good thing. It really is. It's a really good thing, and I think Taj is learning that, hey, look, I you know, I got to be a little different in the way you do things and approach some things. So, but yeah.
We'll be here next year.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. And I may not be calling plays like I'm doing this year. You know, they may be a little bit different personality, different team. But I'm worried about the here and the now. And these guys going and playing Syracuse. We've gotten better. Last week was a big step in the right direction. The week before that against NC State was a step from play 59 on. And so we've just got to continue to keep you know, getting better and improving each week, and like I said, we got to keep coaching hard. All right.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chad.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
So the quote's gonna be, I'm gonna be with a different team.
No, please, no, if you don't mind, please don't do that.
Larry's got it.
Or last year it was somebody asked me, and I said, well,